siguro gumawa siya ng sarili niyang mga infrastructure project na matatawag niyang legacy. Hindi yung tipong, parang ang nangyari kasi kay BBM, parang credit grabbing yan eh, in many ways or in many respects. Unang-una, gusto ko lang linawin, yung Bukana Bridge ay isa yan sa tatlo na gifts, kumbaga regalo ng China sa Pilipinas, meaning hindi siya loan. It is ano siya, grant. So ibig sabihin, pera ng China ang ginamit diyan. Tatlong tulay. Pero ito yung pinaka-controversial na Bukana Bridge sa Davao kasi ang nangyari diyan parang sinasabi ni BBM na legacy niya or one of his legacy sa infrastructure, which is nagre-react syempre ang mga tao kasi alam naman natin na nung 2018 yan, at the same time 2020 nagkaroon, na parang na-approve na yung funding dyan, at saka yung mga negotiation nangyari during the time of President Duterte, at saka during the time of the Vice President as Mayor of Davao City. So may mga ano dyan, may mga debate na hindi yan legacy per se ni President Marcos Jr., but it's more of a legacy, part ng legacy ng tinatawag mong Build, Build, Build program ng Duterte administration na yun ang tinatawag natin before, yun ang tinatawag talaga natin na golden age of infrastructure. Nagsulat ako niyan ng maraming article published in ASEAN Post. So hindi pwedeng i-claim ni BBM yan. Kung ako kay President Marcos Jr., I think he should have his own legacy. Siguro gumawa siya ng sarili niyang mga infrastructure project na matatawag niyang legacy. Hindi yung tipong, parang ang nangyari kasi kay BBM, parang credit grabbing yan eh, in many ways or in many respects. On the other hand, ang sinasabi nila, parang ano daw, in exchange for yung tinatawag nating dispute dyan sa South China Sea, that is not really true. Actually, ang China is a big investor and it's a big financer when you talk about infrastructure projects in different parts of the world, especially sa tinatawag mong Global South. Ito yung developing countries. Even across Southeast Asia, ang pinakamalaking pumupondo pagdating ng mga infrastructure project, both physical infrastructure and soft infrastructure. Soft infrastructure meaning yung digital infrastructure ay ang China. So actually, ang Pilipinas ang may pinakamababa at this time when you talk about financing ng China sa infrastructure project, especially under BBM administration. Kung titignan mo ang Africa, titignan mo ang Latin America, at titignan mo ang Asia, ang kabuuan ng Asia, ang pinakamalaki na funder when you talk about infrastructure projects, especially when you talk about railways, bridge, ports, and even like mga digital infrastructure, yung mga pang-satellite and all that, ay ang China. Kasi ang China, to be very honest and frank, objectively speaking, is the best when you talk about infrastructure project in the world, not even the United States. If you look at the United States, mga train station nila, mga luma, yung mga bridges nila luma. But if you go to China, and if you see China's infrastructure, China's railway, Chinese ports, it's really amazing. It's one top of the world, as in, I'm not kidding. So when you talk about investment in other countries, pagdating sa infrastructure, China is leading. And they are very good at this. Kaya nga may tinatawag kang Belt and Road Initiative or BRI. Basically, ang BRI is a Belt and Road Initiative. It's a grand project of China that basically focus on infrastructure investment in many parts of the world. And usually, itong BRI, ang encompassing ito is most continents from Asia, Latin America, even Europe sa eastern part of Europe and in Africa. Makikita mo ang mga infrastructure project dyan na big time infrastructure project ay galing China under the so-called BRI or Belt and Road Initiative.
Opo.
Na land sa ano yan sa land la kasi may BRI ka na tinatawag mong Silk Road. Andyan na yun siya.
Opo. Prof, yung sa BRI, kumbaga, tumutulong ang China. Siyempre, kasi sa pagtulong niya sa mga bansa, yung beneficiary, siyempre, makakabenepisyo yung bansang beneficiary. And at the same time, meron din siyang benefit sa China kasi possible din na itong mga bansang tinutulungan niya, makikipagkalakalan din siya at para hindi na rin siya mahirapan tuloy-tuloy, maganda ang ugnayan. Pero maaring masamain pa rin yan ng ibang mga kritiko nga. Kaya nga tinutulungan yung China kasi merong dispute dyan para makalimutan na natin yung West Philippine Sea. Ganun pa rin yung motibo. Pero meron bang
Oo.
ibang mga bansa na gumagawa rin ng ganito, kung hindi man full grant, at least mga soft loans, mabababa na mga interest na makakatulong sa atin, pero sure ka na matibay, pulido yung
Ah.
infrastructure at magagamit natin?
So far at this time, to be very honest, when you really talk about infrastructure project, and that is like for example, itong hard infrastructure, physical infrastructure, na ang number one talaga sa mundo is China. Other countries are not as at par, even Japan is not at par with China when you talk about these things kasi mas mahal ang kanilang construction. Though ang kanilang sinasabi na mas mura daw ang mag-loan sa Japan. Pero actually, if you really analyze things, pag dumating ka na sa construction, sa proseso ng construction, sa pagbili ng mga materials for the construction, I think it's still expensive even if from Japan investment. So, it's really China. And in terms of may pinakamalaking pondo, when you talk about these things, I think it's China, number one at the moment. So, other countries, because look at the country right now. Like for example, look at the Philippines right now. Ano ba yung country na na talagang nagpupondo pagdating sa infrastructure programs or infrastructure projects sa Pilipinas? Since ang China nag-mellow down, ano ba ang under BBM, mayroon ba siya talagang big ticket infrastructure project na nasimulan, na negotiate under his administration na ngayon matatawag yung legacy, na funded by other countries like for example Japan or the United States? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So, ang Belt and Road Initiative, ito yung, at saka gusto ko lang i-address, no, yung sinasabi na, ang tawag nito, kaya ang China nagbibigay ng mga infrastructure or nagpapaloan or nagbibigay ng grant when you talk about infrastructure projects sa Pilipinas, para in exchange to the dispute of the South China Sea, para hindi natin i-claim ang ating claim. That is really wrong assumption, precisely because even if China will give us the investment in terms of infrastructure, or even if will give loan or grant sa infrastructure project natin, bibigyan tayo o hindi, they would always be a dispute in the South China Sea. Hindi yan mawawala ang dispute kasi ang dispute sa South China Sea is a separate matter. It's like it's more on security and geopolitics to a greater extent. And of course, it's all about sovereignty and sovereign rights. Dapat hiwalay yan when you talk about cooperation. Kasi when you talk about Belt and Road Initiative, when you talk about infrastructure investment sa Pilipinas ng China, let us say, ibang dimension yan, cooperation yan. Kaya nga nung panahon ni Duterte, ni Pangulong Duterte, malinaw ang kanyang foreign policy. We will cooperate with China on areas that there is a need for cooperation, and there's already cooperation. Like for example, infrastructure project. Pero isi-separate natin ang pag-deal when you talk about the South China Sea dispute kasi it's a different matter, it's a different dimension. Kaya malinaw yon. Pero itong panahon ni BBM, nagkaletse-letse na. Kasi lahat nilamplap na nila, kaya
Opo.
nagkagulo-gulo. So, ngayon, hindi tayo nagbe-benefit. Ang other countries in ASEAN are benefiting from infrastructure project, and we are not even part of the Belt and Road Initiative, I think.